How's everybody doing today? The only thing better than an Islander hockey game on the weekend on a Saturday night is having two Islander hockey games on Saturday and Sunday night. Welcome to Canadian Islander Fan, and I am pumped again for tonight's game. This one's against Minnesota. It's going on a little later than normal for New York time. I know you guys have a hard time on Sunday nights with these games. But for me, it's basically a 5 o'clock start. So anyway, I'm pretty pumped for this game. Isles coming off a great game last night, winning 2-0. So tonight we're playing the Minnesota Wild, who are 7-3 and second in the Central. Seems like just yesterday we played somebody who was second in the Central. Oh, wait a second. We did. Winnipeg was second in the Central yesterday. And because we beat them, gave the chance for Minnesota to move up into second. So now let's do Winnipeg a favor and beat Minnesota. Sounds like a good deal to me. Isles are now up to 6 in the Metro at 5-2-2, which is actually kind of unbelievable. What a division we are in. Overall, everything's pretty tight between both the Islanders and Minnesota, except there's a couple of key areas where there's a big difference. And basically, that comes in the goals against. Minnesota's given up 3.4 goals per game, and the Islanders are giving up 2.11. However, we got the return of Varley into the nets tonight. So this is kind of an unknown. It's first start in a long time for Varley. I have all the confidence in the world in Varley. I have no problem with him going in the net. He does have a tendency of letting up an occasional soft goal in a game. That could happen tonight, but let's hope not. It's a new season for Varley, so yeah, looking for good things from Varley tonight. So basically, everywhere else we're pretty much the same. We're like in power play percentage, we're 23rd. Minnesota's 20th. Penalty kill, we're 15th. They're 24th. So in actuality, we are better in the special teams department than Minnesota, and we're better in the goals against. But in the goals for, they're a little bit better than us. They're 3.10 a game, and we're 2.78. Face-off percentages are relatively the same, and our leading scores are roughly the same. They have Kaprizov with 10 points, and we have Nelson with 9. So yeah, that's currently where we sit. So looking forward to an exciting game today. Back to back. We normally do pretty good on back to back. So I'm looking forward for a good effort. We've got a lot of boys from Minnesota in tonight's game, so we know they're going to be giving 100% effort tonight. And it wouldn't surprise me. I know Pullock's family usually travels down from Grandview to see the games in Winnipeg or in Minnesota as well. So there's also that. Anyway, I'm pumped for this game and I'm ready for another W. This is a big game for us. Finally, a real chance to move up in the standings because nobody else is playing, and this is one of our makeup games. So it's an important win tonight. It would be nice to. We've been fooling around in the 6 to 8 spot the entire season, so it's time to move our way out of there. So anyway, I'm pretty pumped and going to talk to you guys in between the first and second period. Let's go Islanders. The Islanders score late in the period and take a 1-0 lead against the Wild. Interesting period for sure. I was expecting to come up here and do the podcast with a 0-0 tie, and it was going to start out something like this. Well, I don't think we're playing very well. We don't look that good. We look a little bit of a step behind and stuff like that. And I was going to say, however, still, 0-0 is a good result for a road first period. But what happens? The Islanders finally come to life at around the 16-minute mark of the period and finally started to look like they had some jump into their legs again. I was trying to think, who am I going to have to talk about that really did any good? Well, there was one obvious, and it was Varley. Varley, what a guy! 14 shots in the first period, and he stops them all. So, boy, did he ever look calm and confident in there. You have to love our goaltending tandem. We have the best tandem in the league by a mile. I just shake my head at people that think it's a good idea to get rid of Varlamov so we can get some other kind of asset. I mean, you dream of having a 1A, a 1B like this. I would never change it. Varley was outstanding. I thought he might have been a little bit deep in the net, but first game of the year, hard to knock him right now. I thought if anybody, even though even without the goal, I thought the first line was probably our best line, other than maybe the fourth line. The fourth line, because they play, they're not expected to play goals, so they can go unnoticed in a game like this because they're doing what they normally do, even in when the rest of our guys are firing on all cylinders. So the fourth line had a good first period, and I thought the first line was our best line of the period. And not that anybody else was really bad, but it just seemed as a team we were about a half a step behind for sure. So anyway, Anders Lee scores late into the period, and it's off a shot from Chara and a nice play by Barzell. So, one thing I should mention: last night I didn't have Barzell down for that assist, and I said I thought he should have got one. He was awarded it later, so that's back-to-back games with assists there for Barzell. Nice for Anders to score in front of the hometown folk. Got to see the family up there. It'd be nice to see if the rest of our other two Minnesota boys get a goal or two. Would be nice as well. I did think that we had a couple opportunities to score a goal where I just thought once we made a couple times we made the wrong decision where to shoot. Barzell broke in the one time, and all he had to do was go to his backhand. He had basically half the net to shoot at. And even though the short side was open and he missed it high and wide, I really think if he had went to the backhand on that one, he would have scored there. And there was another one where Bailey shot through. I thought that was going in the net. You just lost track. It must have just missed by a millimeter. Sorry, that's Canadian for my American friends out there. We go by millimeters. Actually, I never go by millimeters. I still do inches, yards, and whatnot. But yeah, I thought Bailey was going to have one there, and I also thought that Palmieri probably squeezing the stick a little tight. In a normal situation, he might have instead of shooting that right away right into Laukonen's pads, he might have just hung on to it just a little bit, went to the backhander and flipped her over into basically, well, he would have had to flip it over Dumba sliding through, but that would have been easy enough. But other than that, it was a good road period by the Islanders. I still think the Wild were the better team of the period, but our goaltender was better. And it's nice to see the captain starting to get on a roll there with a goal. So the Islanders did pop in 10 shots on net, but like I said, we woke up at around the 16-minute mark is when we finally started to control some play. That was probably the biggest problem for me, is we were controlling none of the play. We were keeping everything to the outside, but we weren't controlling enough there at all, and we needed to do that. What was I going to say? There's something I was going to say. I can't remember now. Maybe I'll remember it for the second period. But overall, you're going to take that result 1-0 after one, and this is a big game for us. So we really want to win this one, because once again, we got a bunch of days where we're not going to be playing until New Jersey. And once this game's over, we're just about through this long road trip and only have 3 games left. So yeah, that'll be nice. All right. So anyway, looking forward to a better period from the Islanders, even though we got a 1-0 late. Oh, I know what I was going to say. That's pretty amazing. That's 3 goals in the last 2 games where we scored on a delayed penalty. So our power play gets no credit, even though it kind of is a power play, even though that one kind of happened pretty fast. I don't even know if the 6th man even helped that much on that one, but just kind of odd that we scored 3 of them in 2 games. So I'll take them whatever way we can. I'd much rather watch a goal than watch our power play anytime. Okay, so looking forward to a better period from the Islanders, and if we end up being 1-0 like last night going into the third, I'll be fine with that too. So see you in between the second and third. Ooh, what a period. That's a bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it? All hail Varley. All hail Varley. All hail Varley. Wow, what a great first game back for Varley. He's playing lights out, and what an unreal goal to have to beat him. And I'm coming to Varley's defense right off the bat here for Butch on that goal. I think Butch is wrong. Many times I thought Butch is wrong, but in this time in particular, I think Butch was wrong talking about Varley sending the puck around on the goal that got scored against him. Now, I watched that play and I saw it happening even live. I didn't even have to see the replay to see what happened. Both Mayfield and Pellick were on opposite sides of Varley, and both took their sweet ass time getting to their spots in the corner. And while they were taking their time to get there, in the meantime, two Minnesota guys come storming up the ice and get in between both Mayfield and Pellick. Now Varlamov's got nowhere to feed the puck to. And I noticed after the goal was scored, Pellick was really ticked at himself. And I'm sure that's why he was ticked at himself. They didn't get there quick enough to give Varley the easy out. They should have actually went back there and picked up the puck. I'm sure Varley wanted to just leave the puck there for the defenseman, but neither one of them moved to get it. So, Butch, you're wrong. It wasn't Varley's fault. That was his only play he had left. Once those two Minnesota guys got in between Mayfield and Pellick, there was nothing he could do but that. Then makes a spectacular save on the spin around, and it has to be a deflection is the only way they were getting a puck past Varlamov there. So yeah, what a period. Well, so anyway, Islanders are winning 2-1 after two. And we came out really strong, I thought. I thought for the first 7 minutes of the period, I said, oh, good. We got our legs. We're moving. We're flying. We're happening. And we were. And then all of a sudden, I think it was when we got that penalty call against Parise that really kind of switched the tide of the game. I think Minnesota was actually taking over just a little bit before that, though. But that really swung the tide in Minnesota's favor, where they really got a jump. And it was just absolutely huge after Minnesota ties up the game 1-1. What Bars did on that play. And by the way, as I thought last game that Barzell should have got awarded an assist, and he was awarded an assist, I also think Varlamov should be getting an assist on this goal as well, because that was one hell of a pad save, and he padded it right to Barzell. So I don't know how he can't get an assist on that. But currently, Anders cracks his second goal of the game, and the family's all going nuts in Minnesota, and everybody's happy in that. And it's the 47th time that Anders has scored 2 goals in a game and never had a hat trick, and is leading the league as an active 2-goal game guy. I remember it was, I think it was Shane Doan. He went something like about 83 games or something like with 2 goals, 83 2-goal games, and never got a hat trick. He finally got a hat trick in his last year, right at the very end of the season against us, the Islanders. And I think he scored with a second left in the game to get that hat trick. I was actually kind of happy for Doan, because I like Doan. There was never any reason to hate him. He was always on a crappy team. So, and we were crappy too. So, overall, that period though wasn't a good one for us. I guess it's a good road period because we're winning 2-1. So, but once again, we can thank Varlamov for that. Pellick had 2 really bad shifts there. I was really surprised. I was shocked. One was the one where we got the goal scored against us, where I thought he should have given Varley a outlet valve, but he didn't do it. And I think it was the second last or third last shift of the period. He has an easy out, and he just passed it right to a Minnesota guy. And then we got hung in our end there for about another 40 seconds. It was the Clutterbuck line, and that, so they were pretty gassed when they needed the change there. And I saw Pellick disgusted in himself once again. When I seen, as soon as he made the pass, slammed his stick and dropped his head. And it's unusual to see that happening to Pellick, but I think Bo had a whale of a period. The guy was all over the ice. He's flying out there tonight, and finally started to see some life out of the second line in that period, or third line, correction. I didn't really think they had been playing very good up until about the latter half of the second period, and then they seemed to get going. Wally's not having the best of games that he normally does. I think Chara's had an excellent game. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion, that this is so far his best game as an Islander. Once again, if he keeps improving, but I noticed tonight he's putting a little bit of zip on his passes and stuff like that, a little more confident, shooting the puck, and he's playing the system a lot better than he was in the first few games, and he's not getting caught as much. He's using his body more. He made a couple of great defensive plays out there to stop things from happening. So anyway, overall, pretty excited about the 2-1 lead. I know that this would be this win would go a long way for this road trip for sure. Especially with being able to go home again and not play till Thursday, and it's just New Jersey and whatnot. So to be past our 10th game and back in the home area, and really only one weekend trip until we're home again, or I shouldn't say again, home for the first time. So anyway, not the Islanders' greatest game for sure, but how can you knock 2-1 up on the road on your 10th consecutive game, playing your third game in 4 nights and playing on a back-to-back, even though Minnesota's played a back-to-back as well. So no doubt these guys are probably are dead tired right now, even with the breaks they've gotten in that. It can be tired constantly being on the road. Being a military guy, I know what life on the road can be like. And I lived out of a bag for 16 months, and it's not a lot of fun. Anyway, looking forward to the Islanders shutting these guys down in the third. And I want to see Varley get his first win of the season. So come on, Isles, we need this one. Let's take it home. See you at the end of the game. Hope I'm as happy then as I am now. Okay, take her easy. Well, that certainly wasn't the third period we were looking for, that's for sure. But Islanders fall to the Minnesota Wild 5-2, giving up 4 goals in the third period. Granted, 2 of them were into an empty net, but in all honesty, we didn't deserve anything in this game. We didn't play very well in this game. We were actually lucky to be up 2-1. I'm not really going to be I'm not too disappointed with the guys. It was third game, 4 nights, 10th road game. They have it on their mind that they're returning home. They're tired, and they just didn't have it tonight. And that's hockey. That happens. There's some guys that had some bad games, and there's still a couple of guys who had some good games. Like I thought Matt Barzal was definitely our best player on the ice tonight. Honorable mention going to Varley. I thought he played well. Nothing he could do about it. Even the last goal that went in on him, it went off his shoulder and still went in the corner. So he just about had it, but kind of unlucky. We could have won this game. We could have left this game with a point. We could have gotten something out of it, but we just didn't have it and ran out of steam in the third period of a third game in 4 nights. So nothing much you could do about that. So let's just talk about the players just a little bit. First line, I thought that Barzal and Anders had an excellent game. Bailey, I'm not even going to discuss it. Yeah, I didn't even notice him on the ice. Barely seen he was out there. Second line, definitely not up to their standards. However, I did think that Bo was all over the ice tonight. Just had no reward for what he was doing. Brock was giving effort. That is one thing that I will say about these guys. It's one of the reasons why I'm not really upset with them tonight blowing this lead. Is I'm a big believer, as long as you're given 100%, that I'm okay with that, as long as you're giving effort. I don't think the Islanders gave 100% tonight, but they were giving what they had, and they looked like a tired bunch. So I think our effort was there. We just didn't get the results. It wasn't our game, and that's all there is for that. Paul Mary just seems to be snake bitten. I don't know. Poor guy, he needs to get something going. I thought who do we have? We got Bo, and I talked about Bo and Nelson. Okay, so that takes care of the second line. Third line, I think this was their worst game in a long time. Especially Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom didn't have a very strong game. He had a couple of spurts where he did a couple of things, but overall, definitely not Wally's best game. Definitely none of the three. Pajot wasn't great. Zach was trying, but I guess he played well, but no results for it. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of sustained pressure in Minnesota's end this whole entire game. So, one thing that's becoming a concern for me, though, is our face-offs. I know we eventually straightened it out by the end of the game, but That used to be such a strong point for our team, and we were, you know, it turns out to be a big deal a lot of the time between either getting hemmed in or hemming in the other team and whatnot. So I think we got to be better on the face-off circles as well. So yeah, not a banner night for the third line, and I thought it was an okay game by the fourth line. They were good, but they didn't create that spark to get us going. You know what I mean? That's usually what they do, and they're not hitting as much this year as they have in previous years, which is understandable. I know they're getting older and everything, so yeah, they just didn't provide the spark. They didn't play bad. They actually played pretty good. So Zdeno Chara, best game as an Islander by a mile. I I can't think of any mistakes he made out there tonight. I'm not watching him as much as I'm not isolating him like I used to, but usually bad plays will still stick out to me, and I didn't really see anything bad from Big Z. So I thought he had a good game. Mayfield, uh, all the Islanders just weren't up to it tonight. You know what I mean? Like I said, they weren't horrible. However, one defenseman that I did think that wasn't very good tonight was Dobson. He looked young out there tonight, so he made quite a few mistakes out there. So there was that. And I told you Pelech really wasn't up to his normal par. He was making a lot of mistakes, but then he made a lot of beautiful defensive plays as well. Pollock, he was good. He was okay. Played good defensively in that. Mayfield saved a goal there at the end. Not Scotty's best game either, but overall, so who did we talk about there? Let's see. We got Pelly and Pollock. I talked about Andy Green. Fairly solid, but normally he was doing a lot better in the past few games of making sure to get the puck out, and wasn't as successful as that tonight. But most of the Islanders were running around the whole night anyway. So like I said, just overall, it just wasn't our best game. So Barley played well. So yeah, you can't knock him for that. So anyway, as we sit right now, we're 5-3-2. And that's pretty good for a 10-game road trip so far. We've got 3 more to go. We'll get those done next Thursday and get those out of the way within the next, I think it's 3 days. What, Thursday, and then we play. Oh, no, then it's Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, Monday. I can't remember. Anyway, it'll be great to get this road trip over with because the boys did look tired tonight. So anyway, that's what we had for tonight. The Islanders fall into the Wild 5-2, couple empty netters, made it look worse than it was. Could have got a W out of this one, could have got a loser point out of this one, but we didn't. There'll be other games that we will, that we don't play well enough to win. I thought tonight might have been one of them, but it wasn't the case. Anyway, you guys take care, and we'll see you Thursday night. So take care and peace out.